Here are some things that all good readers remember. Predict what the book will be about. Ask yourself questions as you read. Try and work out difficult words. Listen to yourself as you read. Reread when you need to. Can you predict what this book is about? Click on a book feature to find out. Title. The title tells you something about the story. Can you predict what the story is about by reading the title? Illustration. The illustration on the cover of the book shows you something that is happening in the story. The picture on the front of the book shows you something you will find inside the book. What does this picture show you? What is this illustration about? Blurb. The blurb is on the back cover. It gives you a quick summary of the story. Can you predict what the story is about by reading the blurb? Table of contents. The table of contents is a list of the chapters in the story.
Saltspray Monster. Written by Arthur Beat. Illustrated by John Davis. Click on the speaker on each page to hear the story read. If you need help, click on the Help button.
If you are having trouble working out a word, try these strategies. Skip the word and read on to the end of the sentence. Can you guess what the word is now? Does it make sense and sound right? Look at the start of the word. What sound do you hear when you say the first letter? Can you sound out the first 2 or 3 letters? Look at the whole word. Are there any parts you can sound out? Break the word into syllables. Reread the whole sentence. Can you think of a word now that makes sense and sounds right?
Saltspray Monster. Written by Arthur Beat. Illustrated by John Davis. Contents. Spooking Kylie. Page 1. Maddie's Brilliant Plan. Page 7. Making a Monster. Page 11. Fooling Curly. Page 17. The Monster Floats Away. Page 24. Monster to the Rescue. Page 28. Map. Page 31. Marker Boys. Page 32. A Very Muddy Rap. Page 34. Glossary. Page 36. Characters. Carlo. Benji. Harry. Stace. Kylie. Maddie. Pumpkin. Curly. Chapter 1. Spooking Kylie. Team Turbo won the Saltspray RRR last year. That is the raft race down the Clancy River. We beat Pumpkin Patterson fair and square. After we beat him, he was nastier than ever. Carlo's little sister Kylie is easily spooked. Last week, Pumpkin and Curly played a nasty trick on her. On Monday, Kylie heard Pumpkin say to Curly, "My cousin Pete works on the fishing boats. He saw something really big swimming out in the harbour." On Tuesday, Kylie heard Curly say, "They found a pile of guts near the ramp. It might be fish guts, or it might not be." On Wednesday, Kylie heard them talking again. "It's got huge teeth and glowing eyes. People are calling it the Saltspray Monster," said Pumpkin. Kylie was getting scared. She told Team Turbo what Curly had said about a monster. "That's just a silly story Pumpkin and Curly are making up. They are trying to scare you," I said. "I don't believe them," Kylie said, "but I'm still scared." Chapter 2. Maddie's Brilliant Plan. After school on Friday, I called a team meeting. We need to get back at Pumpkin and Curly for trying to scare Kylie with those silly stories, I said. I've got a brilliant plan. Benji, Carlo, Kylie, Harry and Stace looked at me. "Okay, Maddie," said Stace. "What's the idea?" I was still thinking, but as I talked, the ideas kept coming. Then I had my brilliant plan. "Like it," said Benji. So did all the others. Even Doris barked. First, Carlo phoned Pumpkin and challenged him to a race. "A race?" said Pumpkin. "Why?" "Because we're sick of you always annoying us. If you win, you can have my games console," said Carlo. "But if I win, you say sorry to Kylie. You admit there isn't a Saltspray Monster. You leave us alone. Deal?" "Deal," said Pumpkin. "You against me, Carlo. Let's race to the marker buoy and back." We decided the race would start from the boat ramp at 6 o'clock. "We have to move fast," I said. "We have to make a raft monster and get it hidden before Pumpkin gets there." Chapter 3. Making a Monster. We collected the stuff we needed and met at Stace's house the next day. We kept the raft in Stace's dad's garage. We hadn't used it since the Triple R race. "We'll hide the raft under the big willow tree by the river mouth. Even when the tide is out, the water is deep enough for it to float," I said. "Stace and Harry, you hide inside the raft. When I give the signal, float out of the hiding place. Turn the sound up high and have the lights glowing." "Pumpkin will totally freak out," said Kylie. "Yes!" "This is going to be so good," Benji said. He gave Carlo a high five. Doris barked. Her tail wagged and so did the back part of her body. "Harry, did you Google the tide and sunset times?" I said. "Sure did," Harry said. "Low tide at 6 o'clock, sunset at 6:30. So when I race Pumpkin, the tide will be out," Carlo said. "We'll be racing on mud some of the way." "That's right. Let's go, guys. There's a lot to do," I said. We made the monster. Benji and Stace pressed some chicken wire into the shape of a monster's body. It was hollow and big enough for 2 people to hide inside. Carlo had some old sheets. He draped them around the wire frame. It changed from a pile of wire into a very cool monster. I coloured the ends of 2 torches with a red felt tip pen. We put them in the monster's head to make glowing red eyes. Harry downloaded monster sounds from the web. He hung his laptop inside the monster. We were finished, and it was 5 o'clock. Right on time. Chapter 4. Fooling Curly. It wasn't easy getting the raft monster down to the water. Curly was on the bridge by the boat ramp, chucking stones at seagulls. We had to get past without him seeing it. We hid the raft by the fish shop, and Benji went over to Curly. "Hey, Curly, I just saw the Boom Bats drummer loading his drum kit into the surf club." The Boom Bats were Curly's favourite band. The bass player had given Curly a Boom Bats t-shirt. Curly always bragged about it. He hardly ever took that t-shirt off. "They're playing there tonight. They're doing their sound check now." That was all it took. Curly was off. Just in time. It was almost 6 o'clock. We hid the raft monster under the willow. Stace and Harry hid inside it. I stood nervously on the boat ramp with Kylie, Carlo, Benji and Doris. Pumpkin jogged along the road towards us. "Got the console?" he said to Carlo. Kylie held it up. "Take a last look at it because soon it'll be mine," said Pumpkin. "Let's get on with it," said Carlo. He looked nervous. Then he looked at Kylie and his console. "Go on then," he said, taking off his runners. Pumpkin chuckled as he kicked off his thongs. I was the official starter. "Ready? Steady? Go!" I shouted. Mud oozed between their toes, making sucking sounds and letting off a horrible smell. After a few meters, Pumpkin pushed Carlo. Carlo landed face down in the mud. By the time he was back on his feet, Pumpkin was swimming towards the marker. Chapter 5. The monster floats away. "Go!" I yelled in the direction of the willow tree. The monster pushed through the hanging branches and floated along the channel of water towards the harbour. Inside the raft, Stace turned on the torches. The monster's red eyes glowed in the evening light. Harry tapped the keyboard of his laptop, and groaning sounds echoed around the harbour. Pumpkin was halfway back from the marker, where the water was shallow again. He stopped swimming and stood up. His mouth made the shape of a scream. A sound like the squeal of a piglet came out. Then I saw Carlo coming back from the marker, waving his arms like crazy. He was pointing at the raft. Kylie shouted, "It's floating away!" The raft was heading for the deep water. Carlo swam towards it. He grabbed the side of the raft. He could stand up, but his feet were stuck in the mud. The more he pulled, the more the mud sucked. Chapter 6. Monster to the rescue. Then a new sound, which definitely wasn't human, floated across the water. We saw a creature splashing through the water, heading straight for Carlo. Kylie screamed. Pumpkin squealed again. Benji shouted, "Good girl!" It was Doris, bounding through the muddy water to the rescue. Carlo grabbed her collar and she helped him pull the raft monster back to shore. When Carlo flopped down on the grass, Pumpkin was still staggering back through the mud. "You won," I said to Carlo. "Yes, but Maddie, next time you have a brilliant plan, count me out, please," he said. Map. Marker Boys by Maddie Chan. Marker buoys are used to warn boaties about danger and to show them where it is safe to go. There are lots of different colours and shapes. Most marker buoys have flashing lights on them so that they can be seen at night. Some markers float, but are anchored to the seabed. Others are built on piles of rocks that stick out above the water. Here are some of them. A green, cone-shaped marker shows the right-hand side, starboard, of a channel. A red, can-shaped marker shows the left-hand side, port, of a channel. Channels are where the deepest water is. Boats are not likely to hit sand or rocks in the marked channels. A yellow and black marker shows where there is deep water close to dangerous areas like rocks. The black stripes show boaties which direction to go in to avoid the danger. A red and black marker shows rocks or shallow sandbars. A yellow marker shows special areas to be careful of, like underwater pipes or places where boaties shouldn't put down an anchor.
A Very Muddy Rap by Carlo Maserati.
I get pushed by a pumpkin and I land in the mud. The stuff hits my head with a soft soupy thud. I've got mud in my eyes, I've got mud in my hair, I've got mud everywhere. I've got mud on my feet, I've got mud on my clothes, I've got mud in my mouth, I've got mud up my nose. I've got mud on the top, I've got mud underneath, I've got mud on my teeth. And who do I blame for this very muddy mess? If you think it's me, well, have another guess. It's a 5-letter word, it's got a Y on the end, it's got an ad in the middle, and it starts with an M. That's right, I'm glad you can see. That's Maddie with an Addy, not muddy like me.
Glossary. Marker buoy. Something used to highlight a danger. In this case, to show boats where there is shallow water. Nervous. To be uneasy or worried. Signal. A sign that is agreed on so that when it is shown, everyone knows what to do. Willow tree. A type of tree that often grows on riverbanks. Word wiper. Remember this page from Saltspray Monster. Uh-oh, here comes the word wiper. The word wiper has wiped away 5 words. Can you put them back? Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check. Well done. Try the next word. Well done. Try the next word. Well done. Try the next word. Try again. Excellent. Try the next word. Try again. Wonderful word work. Click Next to go to the next page. Remember this page from Saltspray Monster. Uh-oh, here comes the word wiper. The word wiper has wiped away 5 words. Can you put them back? Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check. Brilliant! Try the next word. Well done. Try the next word. Well done. Try the next word. Well done. Try the next word. Try again. Excellent! You got them all. Click on Print to print your word wiper page, or click Next to finish. Sausage sizzle. Look at these sentences from Saltspray Monster. Listen to this word. Wheel. It is a contraction of the words we and will. A contraction is a word that is made up when 2 words are joined to make one shorter word. See how many sausages you can cook on the barbecue. Drag the sausages with contractions on them onto the barbecue. If you want to check a word, roll the mouse over it to hear it read. Click on Go to start. We're, Carlo's, Kylie's, Dad's, Stace's, its, Turbo's, Bats, wasn't, pumpkins, isn't, it'll, wheel, let's, theirs, Maddie's, their, Curly's, that's, good work. Type the contractions, then click Go. Silly story writer. Write a silly story for Saltspray Monster. Follow the instructions to write your silly story. Then click Next. Great job! Celebrity Monster. A silly story from Saltspray Monster. Now you can read your silly story. Click on Edit if you need to make any changes. Click on Print if you're happy with the story.